Heroic versus OG game number 1 in this 2-game series of the first group stage here at DreamLeague. Suns fan with the Cinder Man. He's back.
I'm back.
Better than ever.
Better than yesterday.
Phlegmy as ever. Lots of things coming out of every orifice in your body. How are you feeling, good sir?
Yep, nice. Very, very graphic. That's wonderful.
It's the only way. I mean, I'm a play-by-play. I'm supposed to be graphic.
That's fair. I'm excited for this one. I think there's quite a lot of, I wouldn't say new things because it's not exactly. Okay, hang on. Maybe I'll get to talk in a second.
No, not today.
Let's wait and see. Both teams. I think both teams are well aware of what's going on right now. Obviously, the smoke broke for OG, so Heroic will know this with their own ward.
This could be a very big bounty fight.
This could get messy.
Analog on his primal will lead the way, but...
Wow, that was so messy.
Okay.
All right,
very anticlimactic, very nice. Oh, as I say that, sticky bomb onto Devi. Gonna take some damage in his trek to the off lane. Seb, he might actually be able to get some more damage on there as Schofield splits the uprights just for good luck.
So
we haven't gotten to cast Heroic yet.
Yeah, that's right. This is our first time casting this team ever.
Oh, it's not over yet. The blood grenade, Seb actually does a fake back, and Schofield is going to end up dropping. First blood goes to Ari on the techies. Nicely done from OG. Don't really see the fake back very often at the very beginning of the game. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and even a nice little detail there from Schofield to mitigate a little bit, I suppose. He used the Fairy Fire, and because of that, Tomato didn't get the kill on the Spark Wraith, but, you know, still ends up dying. KJ versus Ari will be an interesting one to see here. So there's a 5 gyro in this game.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of interesting synergies. The panel are kind of touching on it. You know, the minus armor together with the Arc Warden combination. But I also think something to keep in mind for this game on Heroic, whenever I see Slardar, especially as a last pick, I'll always look at how good is Corrosive Haze, right? And you are playing into 2 inherent dispels, so I don't think it's necessarily that clear-cut to get that minus armor that you're aiming for going. Analog will take the Dispel Talent on level 15 on the Primal Beast, so then he can remove it. And you've got the Grimstroke, who's absolutely buying the Shard this game. So you will have a couple of tools to deal with this initiation, and as the panel talked about, OG are quite reliant on Whisper. All right, good harassment up here, up top onto KJ, but Gyro has high armor, so we'll be okay. But yeah, OG's lineup is quite reliant, I would say, to an extent at least, on Whisper finding openings. And it's not going to be as easy as you might think against these heroes.
Oh, sticky bomb, blood grenade, Whisper trying... Oh, he's going to get slowed a bit as well, as KJ will be able to get away as a result. But you're talking about the minus armor being able to dispel. You know who can't dispel it is Roshan.
That is true.
OG, I feel like they can take a really fast Rosh.
Yep.
Like typically we see it around the 22-minute mark, I want to say, on average. Probably 15, 16 if they really want to force it.
That was like the most... You just pulled that number out of your ass.
I mean, am I wrong? It's roughly correct.
I mean, I can't say if you're wrong. You could be off by 2 minutes or by 10. I wouldn't know.
When I bring up stats, just assume that I've looked them up, even though you know I haven't, just because it creates this illusion of
yes,
confidence.
Indubitably, the 22-minute average Rosh.
Hey, I've been casting a lot of these games. That's what it's about 22 minutes.
I'm gonna say you're probably within 3 minutes. I think it's quite close.
Okay.
I mean, that's not bad, especially for you.
All right, we need a stats person to get on this immediately. Yep. Just to see how correct I am.
I know you're watching Knoxville.
Sticky bomb. Blast off is there. Whisper still really slow, can't really catch up. But Schofield's gonna take a tumble to Tomato's right click. Seb is gonna be the trade.
This bottom lane is going to get quite interesting, I think, when Kunkka gets especially level 5. I think this is not the easiest lane ever for Arc Warden, to be honest. Like, he's off to a pretty good start, largely because they zoned off the Grimstroke for as long as they did with the kill on the 2 supports, and obviously you have an inherent advantage against a melee hero like Kunkka early on. But when this cleave levels start coming in, the lane of Venge plus Grim is quite fragile until level 6. Whereas the Kunkka Grimstroke has constant harassment pressure, and Arc Warden does not want to retreat to the jungle before he hits 6, so we'll see how much Heroic can get out of it down there.
Which version of Arc Warden do you like most?
Oh, they're going for it.
Divine Llama inside the snow globe.
Taking
a lot of damage from the tower, and Seb and Tomato clean him up easily, and Schofield also taken out. Disaster for Heroic in this bot lane.
Yeah, this is not the reason why this lane was favored for Heroic, obviously, as they both die in the tower. Just over-aggression from Devi. He took the tower aggro.
And never relinquished it.
Yeah, he just couldn't drop it again. He got Venge stunned with the tower aggro on him, and the way you win this lane is not by tower diving and killing the Arc Warden on level 3. It's by constantly poking and prodding them so you get them low enough to go for that kill, but it was just naive to try it at 80%. So, yeah, pretty big mistake there for Heroic. The lane is still playable. It's not like you can't come back here, but given the circumstances that you had, giving Arc Warden a kill there, and obviously he's going to coast his way to level 6 at this point, probably. That's a very, very big win for the side of OG.
It's been a while since I've seen the Primal as a mid laner. That was kind of the place that used to be picked for, but as of the last couple months, I feel like it's been mostly off lane.
Yeah.
Do you like the... I don't know what's changed, really, is Tomato. And inside his Snow Globe, Divine Llama has the Ink Swell applied. It's going to get the stun off onto both targets, and Tomato will have to use that Fairy Fire, will drop. And Ari just a little bit late to the party. Meanwhile, Analog making his way over with that Trample Onslaught combo. Blast Off will only connect onto one. Divine Llama and company might just be backing off now. Be happy with the position 1 kill.
Makes quite a big difference to fight out in the trees in the jungle instead of under the enemy tower. Would have thought.
A Whisper, though. The Rocket Barrage will do a considerable amount of damage. Homing Missile coming as well, will live. Meanwhile, Rolling Thunder from BZM. Analog gets stunned right in the middle of his onslaught. Will pop the Fairy Fire. TP coming to try to save him, but it's not going to be nearly in time.
You see what you are up against.
Ends up being canceled, and Seb even makes his way over here. So BZM with the CS advantage and now the kill advantage as well. As nice blocks from Seb, but it's not going to help out in the illusion battle.
And we're really seeing the impact of rotations here, right? So because Ari helps bottom, they zone out the Slardar top, but in return, because the Primal Beast made the rotation bottom, he's out-leveled by BZM, who gets 6 first and finds that kill. So really, really important moves from both teams, and the punishments are matching that as they should be here. Analog still gonna go for Seb here bottom with level 5 only. This has to work or his game is just screwed.
He needs it, but he gets stunned by Ari. Seb survives. Devi now on the run. Spark Wraith will connect. He's gonna TP out, should be fine. But that is not a good exchange for Heroic whatsoever.
I'm actually very surprised Analog went for this. I'm even surprised he went for the first rotation, to be honest. I know Primal Beast is one of these heroes that can gank side lanes really well early on, but he showed up late to a kill that he wasn't needed for. And, oh, KJ won't even get Seb here. I think he might just end up dying.
Rocket Barrage onto Ari instead. Do they have the right click to actually finish the job? KJ could end up with a double kill if they're not careful. Another Rocket Barrage, Sticky Bomb will slow. Magic Missile, that's enough. With the Sticky Bomb from Ari, both supports for OG. Laugh their way to the fountain. And yeah, you can see BZM now with that 1 kill.
I mean, he's almost 2 levels ahead of Analog. This is very rare that this happens at a pro level in mid. Usually, if a hero's level 7 and the other's level 5, it's because it's like some sort of Huskar versus unplayable matchup or whatever, you know? But Analog's rotations have really failed this game, whereas BZM's have been successful, and he was also winning the lane to begin with. So, yeah, just a really, really big advantage for him. We'll be getting a very quick defusal.
They absolutely need something to happen here. Devi, he's going to spot Ari, but BZM gets off that Rolling Thunder. Not able to find the connection on the Schofield here. Analog, though, obviously would be the better kill. There are 4 members of Heroic here, by the way, as BZM looking for the regen room.
Nice time.
Onslaught will hit. Swash is coming. You can see the homing missile will end up proccing onto BZM. Gets off the shield crash just in time, but Ari and Seb not able to really help out because Seb does not have...
Oh my god, what a blast off, though.
Blast off does so much damage to Analog. BZM does end up falling. Analog with that Sticky Bomb should end up dropping as well, so it's a 1-for-1 there. Schofield takes the tumble. Somehow this is a full team fight at the freaking 8.5-minute mark. Divine Llama, Spark Wraith coming for you. Sticky Bomb will not hit this time.
He still has Rum Buff.
That is 2 Spark Wraiths chasing
He needs to tank them sooner. He's going to die because the Rum Buff runs out.
Yep, here it comes. Whisper.
Yeah, now he's dead, right?
Well, he's pretty fast. Maybe he can get pound on time.
Can he outrun these?
I mean, they're pretty slow, actually. This is like a death pulse. Yeah, this is actually fast enough.
I actually didn't think you could just outrun these with phase boots only.
I feel like they did not used to be this slow. Is that the Radiant Arc Warden? Don't even know what he does.
Gonna be fine. Pop,
Very
pop.
nice.
Pop, pop.
All right, nicely done from Divine Llama, but, I mean, still. Analog did die again, but he did get some nice XP. His BZM went down first, I believe.
Yeah, that was the honestly the biggest part of this fight was that Analog got something out of it because Heroic really need this Primal Beast to start reaching a point of contention where they're going to need his Pulverize against the Pango. They're going to need him to be able to at least stand his ground for a little bit and soak damage because so far he's just been dying way too quickly in these exchanges. Ari is going to get eyes on the bottom.
Yep, Tomato has his little buddy with him now. KJ has the Inkswell on him. Schofield will take the brunt of the damage here. BZM. Looks like they'll end up finding KG. Does get a courier on his way out, but OG get 2.
BZM is
Heroic gets nothing.
So far in this game. The silver lining is that K1 is having a totally free game on the Weaver. We haven't really talked about this hero yet. It has some okay matchups. It's a little bit... The Slardar one can be tricky, but Weaver, honestly, it's not as one-sided as you would think that matchup. Sure, the Corrosive Haze can be a problem, but you're also one of the heroes that can outrun Slardar's sprint. You are ranged, so... Especially if you buy Dragon Lance, you still have some reach on the Slardar.
Yep, K1 diving Seb. Tomato is here, though. Gets the bubble off. And Seb's going to survive, partially as a result. I guess the Urn applied to him now as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So early lead here for OG. Here.
This move would be big, but Whisper, it's reading them like a book. Yeah. He'll get out, so will Ari. So failed smoke. A lot of wasted time. They're going to swap K1 into the Sentry. He's actually in huge trouble here if he time-lapses now. He doesn't even have time.
It. K1 with another Shikuchi actually will survive. That was close.
If that Sticky Bomb connects, he's maybe he would have lived with a raindrop, but...
Oh, look at this backstab, though. Heroic. More aggression coming.
This is the same smoke. They've run quite far with this one.
They have to get something out of this. Tomato would be the prize. He's going to get slowed to start things out. Here comes the boat. The Torrent connects as well. Tomato gets absolutely destroyed. Great kill for Heroic. Schofield starting to run away now. Looks like he's going to be fine. The BZM coming in with that Rolling Thunder. Whisper as well. Crush onto Analog, but BZM, does he actually want to dive? Doesn't look like it. OG going to have to try and reset, but the X bringing BZM back, and he gets pulverized into death. Ari going in with the blast off. They're only finding the support for now. So it looks like Schofield will take a tumble. Analog finishes off Ari in the meantime. So a really good fight for Heroic. Crush again from Whisper. Trying to save Seb's life as he's going to get a swap up at the last moment. The magic missile on the K1 under the tower. Double kill for Whisper. Okay, so OG turning it around now. This game is all over the place.
And the thing you got to keep in mind is if Heroic are going to make these 40-second rotations with smoke, they better win the fight. Because you're losing out on farm the entire time. Like, you see these CS numbers start to dwindle. K1 was #1 by 12 CS just 2 minutes ago, and now he's overtaken by BZM, who did die again in that fight, but still manages to complete the defusal. And I don't know, it doesn't feel like this is good enough for Heroic, because when we reach the mid-game portion here, Schofield's just dead again.
So the stat that just came up, I don't know if you saw it, is this is the most deaths of the tournament at this stage of the game. He has 8. He's 0-8. That is... And he's not level 6 yet. And keep in mind, Soulbind against the likes of Pango, very important. That's one of the reasons you pick this. I mean, obviously the Phantom's risk great as well, but
yeah,
the ult is very crucial for trying to control a Pango.
And what you're looking for with the Soulbind as well is not just can you hit the Pango, it's is it likely somebody is going to be next to Pango in the fight. And Slardar kind of has to go in, so absolutely right. The Soulbind will be important. I hope he skills it level 6. I mean, sometimes Grimstrokes bypass it to get 3 points in Phantom's Embrace quickly. I think you just have to get the Soulbind here despite... I mean, what combos do you have? You get a Homing Missile. I think the interaction with X-Mark is... Is that one funky? I don't remember. I think they both just get X'd independently.
You would think, but who knows?
And Pulverize does not work. Pulverize...
It used to.
Pulverize hits the guy you don't target, or did they change that? I actually don't remember this.
Who knows? Onslaught from Analog, pushes Ari to the low ground, gets off his blast off just in time for BZM to try to clean this up. He puts KJ on the low ground meanwhile.
A little awkward here.
Yeah, BZM thinking twice about this. Wants to try to finish off the gyro, which he will, but now he gets silenced up. Analog, there's the soulbind onto 2. Let the swap out as well. The boat is coming. Will end up proccing. Good amount of damage onto BZM, but the Pulverize instantly canceled. And now Analog completely out of mana. K1 has come to try to clean up as well as he's focusing on BZM. They do get the Primal Beast. The Pango will fall in return. K1 already using the time-lapse now.
Very good time-lapse.
Will Shikuchi out in time.
Disjointed the Magic Missile. He's dead there if he doesn't do that. So... Still not really feeling like a loss for OG there. I guess it's a bit of a tie this time around.
Again, but Analog, I think, died first there, right? So
yeah.
XP, very important.
And what's happening here is we're now approaching a mid-game where...
Is this death number 9?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, just keep putting that stat up every time he dies. Just keep updating it. There we go.
The good news is Grimstroke just needs level 7 and a shard, and he can do his job this game. He actually doesn't have to have a great game, so if there's any hero on the Dire that should suffer, it's him. That was the one they can, how to say, sacrifice the most.
I mean, he is suffering already, let's be real.
Did KJ get his shard here? Wait, does he only have does he have no net worth at all? Oh boy, yeah, this Gyro 5 is not having a game either.
The fact that he has 600 less net worth
than
Schofield, who's died 9 freaking times.
Yep.
That's really bad.
Yeah, don't buy wards, kids. It's not good.
Oh, BZM.
Oh, good timing there.
Schofield's getting really low. We'll just assume he'll die here. Gets off his soulbind. They're not even going to bother going for him. Not worth it at this stage. Basically a creep as KJ dies. Instead, we don't have to update that graphic quite yet. Production gets a little time off now. K1 going to have to use his time lapse, trying to get this.
Nice little snack there.
Yeah.
Some good gold. So I think this part of the game should, in theory, be really difficult for Heroic. You have Avenge that has Vlad and good levels. The enemy team has, I would say, really strong skirmishing power, and for the most part, relatively tanky heroes. Oh, nice snag there from Schofield. That's a very rare thing to happen at this level of play.
Yeah, well.
16.5-minute Wisdom. And he's even going to leech some experience there. K1, no time lapse.
Bash is there. Whisper takes out K1.
Oh, dear. That's a big one. Yep. Whisper will be approaching the BKB with this one.
Oh, he doesn't even get the leached XP of the big. He TP'd out a quarter of a second later.
Seb stacking the enemy Ancients so they can farm them.
Very cool.
Yep. They feel like they have a very strong control of this area, clearly. When you do something like this, you're not going to give up that triangle, you would imagine. Or maybe he just wants to give them a little bit of a comeback. Seems to be... Nah, they're sticking around. Gonna have BZM farm this one up. Gonna use the damage rune.
Yep, they find Ari, though, does Heroic. And Analog wants this for himself, and he will get it. Much needed kill for him, but still top 3 net worths in the game, all on OG's side. 7K lead at 17 minutes. Pretty big.
Yeah, the problem for Heroic is that seemingly almost all the kills they get are kind of inconsequential. They're not getting favorable trades. They're not killing the big heroes where it can bring their supports into the game in particular. So sure, getting this techie skill is nice, but the trade-off isn't actually even a win. You're getting a double stack of Ancients farmed in the meantime, and OG maintain position. This could be big, though.
Yeah, BZM, he's going to get initiated on, silenced up as well. The trample ripping through him. Swap not in time. So they're going to lose his life as well, does Seb. So 2 quick kills
Whisper
for Heroic. They lose the Grimstroke, though, as Whisper, he's all alone. Pops the BKB. Is he going to get out? Oh, he gets X'd. Is it going to last long enough?
Yeah, it will.
Yeah,
it will.
Back he comes. Gets off 1 crush, but
that is
taken
huge.
out swiftly. Big team fight for Heroic. 1 for 3.
this is the first move in the game where I feel like they won something, and they won big. That was basically half of OG's lead cut from that one move, so big stuff from Heroic. Keep in mind, Tomato is not involved here, but that's pretty standard for Arc Warden at this stage of the game. You can have these 15 to 20 minute timings where Arc Warden isn't necessarily in the right spot, despite, you know, being two of him.
I think Seb, I don't know if that was a misclick. He swapped out Analog at the beginning. I mean, I don't think it would have mattered. BZM would have probably died anyway, but I mean, that's a big fat body. Hard not to click on it.
Yeah. It's true. I genuinely think Seb should flat out be almost reserving his swap to save Pango. If Pango gets his spells off, I think it's a one fight. If he gets killed first, you don't have that much staying power on the side of OG. The previous fights that we saw where BZM did get killed and OG got a good trade, they were in a much better position and the items hadn't really started coming out so much for Heroic, but now you're looking at the Grim Shard, you've got the Kaya Sanj on the Primal, so he's actually quite strong, dealing a lot of damage. You've got the Torrent Storm on the Kunkka. So the dynamic of this game, I'd say right now, Heroic might be stronger in fights, actually, for a little bit. The X factor will be the Slardar BKB. If Whisper isolates the right target, that can still lead to victories.
Remember, we're about 2 minutes away from the average time that Roche dies in a game.
What was that again?
22.
Oh, you said 21 earlier, didn't you?
No, I said 22.
Damn it, almost got you.
Good try. I do my research, Cinderin.
Shield Rune for Analog. That's a very good hero to have it on. Primal is stupidly high health. Has the, I believe, highest strength gain of any hero in the game. You would know this from Ability Arena.
That's right. Very S-tier body. Not as S-tier as Nature's Prophet, though. Tomato.
Oh, Tomato.
Double
this
spotted,
is big.
and the real one as well. Trample upon him. He's going to use his Glyphnir and try to get the 11th kill on the Schofield. I'm sure we're going to get a graphic updated pretty quickly, but Tomato is the one that dies. That's the big prize for Heroic as they're starting to eat into this lead. There's that stat, 11 deaths at 20 minutes. I wonder what the most deaths in a game this tournament is in general. I'm sure we'll be approaching that relatively soon.
3 things in life are a given. Taxes, death, and more death for Schofield.
I'm having a rough one. That's for sure. But
good trade, though. I think he could have survived there, to be honest, but
he doesn't want to anymore.
No,
Pulverize, he's used to the death.
At this point, it's a statement death.
Seb steals the Wisdom Rune, but
he's gonna live, too.
He will.
Oh.
Schofield.
Oh.
Not in time with the Inks 12. Very close.
Bit of miscommunication there. I think Analog can step to the left way earlier and get that ink, and they can get the kill, but bit slow on that, so very nice steal from Seb. The top Wisdom looks like it will be theirs as well, so big XP swing. Nobody in the neighborhood for Heroic to take this, but who knows? Maybe OG will forget about it for 2.5 minutes again.
Yep, you can see they're circling the bottom of the map. That means 22-minute Roshan.
Yep, fair.
And they start thinking about it.
Oh, I would love it if they killed it at like 22 sharp, but they're going to be a bit too late for that.
No.
Unless if they did it right now. Come on.
Get over there. Got lots of minus armor on your team.
You are late!
Yeah, I think the average is probably 24 minutes, if I had to guess.
They don't have to hit the average. It's okay.
Gotta do the average.
Oh, damage rune here for Analog. This is a nasty one on Primal Beast. Trample, obviously using your attack damage, but also the spell amp. So very nice here. And OG don't have a single Dispel, right? So they can't get rid of it in this. Oh, they have a Yule on the techies.
Hey, they're in the pit at 22 minutes,
Okay.
20 seconds, but the smoke is coming for Heroic. So this will disrupt things for sure. The Tier 1 tower is still up, by the way, and they'll even fortify it for the time being. BZM pops the smoke.
Yeah.
Now they're out of the pit, so the average of Roshan being taken will be extended now because of this play here from Heroic.
BZM immediately gating top to farm here. Just feels confident that Heroic can't really go for it themselves. They definitely can kill it, but it's quite a big commitment that takes time with the swarm building up. And the risk reward for Heroic probably just not favorable enough. Unless, well,
They get scanned out.
they're starting it.
I mean, I do like the, even though it does take a long time, like you talked about, it does feel like stealing this is a big deal because OG can just take it so quickly.
Oh, I feel like Analog should be using the damage rune for this. Like, maybe they're going to make it, but that was a risk that wasn't really necessary to take. If the fight breaks out, he would still have the end of the rune anyway.
Yep, heroic.
But yeah, OG are too late.
Get Rosh, Aegis to K1. The question is, does OG still want to fight?
The answer is yes.
Yes, BZM with the Rolling Thunder, focusing on the gyro for now. The crush, K1's dead. That's the Aegis already consumed. Boat's going to completely whiff as well. But BZM is stuck way behind the Rosh pit. He's getting pulverized all alone. He will die, but K1 dies a second time somehow. And now in the pit, Divine Llama will be spotted as Analog tries to onslaught away. And Whisper and company, all he needs is a bash here. Crush will do as well. And they're going to be able to clean up a lot of these heroic heroes now. Divine Llama will be the final one to fall, so 2 survivors for heroic. So they get the Rosh, but basically the only kill they find is BZM. We're not including Ari here.
What an awkward engagement, right? Like,
yeah.
K1 frontlining effectively here on the Weaver, getting killed the first time and just isolated, no safety nearby. He can't get any ink swell from Schofield to reset this and get out. This could have been so much better for Heroic if the heroes were placed differently, but getting that Weaver killed off immediately definitely made for a rough experience for them, and OG clean up. Still, after all said and done, the goal didn't really change. Back to the 4 to 5k lead that OG were rocking before the Rosh attempt. Well, that could have been a full-on comeback for Heroic, I think. All right, Tomato's clone will be eating dirt in mid.
Yep, double is dead. K1, another swash connects. We'll be able to Shikuchi. I'm not sure if we got the updated graphic for Schofield there. I do believe he died in that fight, just reminding production here. Yeah, that is 12 deaths now. Thank you, production. 25 minutes.
They need to make sure to update the minutes every time as well. They're going to slip up at one point.
Make sure you guys do that during the team fight as well. I think the viewers are very interested. The moment he dies, which will be first, by the way, we need that graphic updated immediately.
Tower is under attack.
Okay.
That's BZM. It's going to be spotted here.
Both teams with a ward here.
To Analog. They're going to start out with the silence. The onslaught in.
He's gone.
Pulverized with Divine Llama nearby. Death of BZM. Nice coordination from Heroic. I mean, they are finding picks. And they've shown the propensity to be able to get back in these games. And it's only a 2k lead now for OG.
Yeah, nice vision. Having the observer there set all of that up. And OG felt a false feeling of safety because they had their own observer, which now got dewarded. So BZM thought that he had good coverage up here, which made the ward that much better. And as you said, just a 2k lead. We haven't seen as much of Arc Warden as I thought we were going to. The question is, when does he reach critical mass, right? You've got the Gleipnir as well as the Travels. He was fortunate enough to find Grove Bow, which is an S-tier item for this hero. BKB close to completion. Maybe that's when Tomato really starts shining here. He has top net worth, but I feel like OG haven't got that much bang for their buck for this hero so far.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, the game very even now. Whisper, Blink, Crush onto Devi. He has his shard now. Tidal Wave will be avoided.
Whoa.
That was it? I heard an X. I didn't see an X.
Yeah, it was very short.
Okay. Instant Hex, or Instant X, I should say. A little less reliable than the Instant Hex. Analog does have that 15 talent. You probably mentioned that already. I'll be able to dispel that Gleipnir now.
Did not, but I mentioned it at the beginning of the game that it was going to be important.
Very important. Yeah.
Now he has 3 dispels. He has his...
Does anybody ever take the other talent? I feel like unless there's like nothing that you're dispelling.
Basically nothing. He has 3 dispels. He has the Uproar, he has Illusion Rune, and he has BKB. So he's a very difficult hero to engage on. Can immediately get rid of it there. And it is a very low cooldown too, the Uproar.
I didn't realize he had his shard. Did they kill Tormy? Is that how he got it? The rock throw? It was buffed not too long ago, so...
Yeah, I think he got it from the Tormentor, right? Because they already have it on... Both supports bought their own. And Kunkka bought his as well, so yeah, that must be it. I would probably rather had K1s if they could have chosen. The Weaver shard is amazing.
Yeah. He'll buy it eventually. It's Heroic. They were smoked up. Most of them still are. Analog leading the way. Gonna go for some D-ward action.
That's important. D-ward
Soulbind onto 2. It's gonna force the BKB from Tomato. Analog's just gonna come in with the pulverize. Instantly cancel though. The boat is coming in. And Seb and Schofield already take a tumble, so 1 for 1. They're gonna buy back on the support from Heroic's side as Whisper will have to BKB TP. Devi, another X combo, this time reserved for BZM, not able to swash out. A nice fight from Heroic, taking 2 lives from OG. Does cost them the buyback on Schofield, which, the graphic, please.
Radiant's top
There we go,
tower.
13 deaths now at 28 minutes.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
He bought back just so he could die again.
You know what?
Very shortly from
If
now.
Heroic win this game, those games feel so good.
Yeah, the Melk award was what, 0-20, right?
Yeah. Now he can't get that one because he has 2 kills.
I remember you were 1-19 with Pudge, and then you lost, so it didn't really count.
That didn't feel that good. If it would have won, it would have felt great.
You were close to winning, if memory.
We were. It was a pretty tough Pudge game. I'm sure I played great.
How do I even remember that? It's actually hilarious. What was that for? Do you
That's
remember?
all right. It's iconic. That's what my games are. They're iconic. They're just memorable, you know?
Yeah.
Radiant's
That's one way to
top
put
tower
it.
is under attack.
Do you remember at TI when I won a game with 0 deaths in my entire team? It's the only time it's ever happened, Shannon. Iconic game.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, okay, well, that one's actually positively iconic,
that's-
so you wouldn't forget that one.
That's true. I can't make a joke out of it, so not worth remembering, I guess. Good friend I am.
Yep.
Tomato, he spotted. Rock throw, hits. Very exciting. Tomato's going to use the Gleipnir. I don't know if that's the hero you want to initiate on, but he is taking decent amount of damage. Analog will pop the uproar again as the rest of OG not too far away. Gets the onslaught just in time, dodging the crush. And the Soulbind is used.
This
Devi
is
Llama's
quite
going to get
awkward
initiated
for
on.
Whisper.
Ari and company, they're all surrounding him. Devi's just dead, so a freebie for OG. And Whisper using the BKB in a defensive measure as K1 will be able to Shikuchi out. Kind of a scattered fight overall, but Devi Llama is the one kind of caught out in the end.
Yeah, if OG don't find that kill on Kunkka, this fight starts looking really rough. Because Whisper dove so deep to try to find the Gyro, who first Force-staffed and then Ogre Seal Totemed, so just created tons of distance during the Slardar BKB. But OG, as you said, find the Kunkka, which is enough to break up that fight.
I also think
Seb is in trouble, though.
yeah,
Not
he
gonna come for
is.
free.
He gets silenced. Gleipnir, K1. Will Shikuchi away.
Oh, look
Tomato.
who it is!
I was just going to say, Schofield actually didn't die in that fight, but that's because he is now. And he's dead for 70 seconds. Let's get that graphic up as we watch this team fight. KJ, maybe we'll get off the Ogre Steel Totem. Analog, actually, the BKB already activated. We'll be trying to go on top of BZM, but not going to find the connection here as KJ actually will somehow get out. K1 keeping everybody busy on the back line. He's completely out of mana at this point. Torrent Storm hitting absolutely nothing.
Devi Llama with a miss there, mistiming the
There it
X mark
is.
back into ship.
A little late production. Could have done that during the team fight.
Yeah, we
Let's try
positive
next
that was
time.
at 31 minutes. It might have been at 30:57 actually.
Yeah, that was a while ago, let's be real.
So it makes the record more impressive if it happened the previous minute. That could have been really good for Heroic if they landed that combo on BZM, but very quick on the blink out of X mark. Just barely able to get out. Devi without the perfect timing. I believe it should be impossible to blink dodge an X into boat combo if you basically frame perfect it, but it's
You have to be AI.
at this
reliably do that.
level that's a very difficult combo to do it completely perfectly, and people are super quick to blink when they get pulled back. So you can't expect that one to land every time.
Net worth-wise, though, very even now.
Have
Heroic have done a really good job of getting back in this game. It was looking like it was going to be out of reach at a certain point.
yeah,
but
for sure. And they've reached a very key timing here, I would say. K1 finally gets his BKB now after 32 minutes, and this is a huge item this game. It gives him so much safety. Damage is not really that big of a concern for Heroic. It's just about being able to stay in the fights and attack people constantly. You have so much control among your other 4 heroes that as long as you get to stay alive and deliver, it will cut it.
Yep,
And this could be a key moment in this game. BZM with the axe picked up as well. Analog
with the heart. He's just taking out the mines. He's going to take BZM with the ult, but there's the Soulbind onto 2. Boat is coming with the Pulverize as well. Down goes Whisper and BZM. Heroic, we're ready for this. They're going to get a 4th member. The only one to survive is Tomato. And now Heroic will be rewarded with the 2nd Roche of the game.
Analog is not a target, I have to say. I really question OG's choice to even open on this guy, because when you consider Heroic's playstyle as a team, right? Surely Grim is there. You opened on a Primal Beast with Blade Mail Heart, Kaya-san, so he has 4.4k health, status resistance, a built-in Dispel himself, a Dispel in his team. All they need to do there is get Inkswell off and press BKB, and the fight is just free, right? Like, you're essentially just... You're placing yourself perfectly for the Kunkka, the Soulbind, and the Primal to all connect. Bounty. So this is effectively... That was a better initiation than Heroic could have ever found themselves.
Yeah, very true.
Win probability 100%. It's overs this game. It was over since the start. This game is rigged.
Oh, okay.
I don't know,
Hey,
man. He saw the draft. He was like, there is no way OG win this.
It doesn't matter how many deaths come to Schofield's name. They will win. He didn't die that fight, by the way. Might be the first one of the entire game. Maybe that's the trick. OG just has to continue to kill him. They're probably just getting sick of doing it over and over. It's KJ. He gets initiated on and destroyed. Meanwhile, Swap, okay. He is alone this time. Is Analog. We'll pop the BKB on slot. Schofield is in the vicinity as well with the Inkswell, so Analog will get away. Schofield, they had the cancel, of course. Let's get that graphic up right before. There we go. He's dead again. There it is. 15 deaths. Beautiful job production during a team fight. Very unprofessional of you and me to talk about that. As a crush onto 3 heroes for Whisper.
Oh, that's a good rock throw. Double hit.
Back and destroyed. Ari and Seb now on the run, but KJ's there to greet him. And the homing missile will find Ari eventually, and K1 should be able to finish the job extremely easily. Analog will back him up as well with the onslaught. And Analog, I have to say, after such a horrific start, yeah, he has recovered better than I've seen any Primal Beast in recent memory.
Yeah, for sure.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just also goes to show the strength of Heroic's lineup, right? Isn't it amazing that you can have a support that's dying like every second minute and you still feel like the impact is enormous, you know? Like, I think this Grimstroke has done so much in this game, and a big part of it is because of the cores they picked it with, right? You're picking it with Primal Beast, who really benefits from the Inkswell both offensively and defensively, and it's the exact same story for the Weaver.
Yeah, you just get your spells off once and you can die. You can die a happy man. Let's get that graphic back up on the screen just to make sure we are aware of how many deaths Schofield has, if you don't mind production.
And speaking of Analog's recovery, talk about a fall from grace for BZM, right? He was 4-0, he's now 6-8. So this Pango has been extremely punished, in particular by the Grimstroke and the Primal.
Yeah.
And a couple of clutch X marks. Obviously, that change that came in 7 point a couple months, years ago.
Sure, 7.x.
Yeah, where spells can be cast on BKB and then outlast it, made X marks so much better.
That's true.
And especially against Pango, right, who's so reliant on his ult for safety. But when your ult is halfway, you're not safe anymore. You just get X marked, and that has killed him 2 or 3 times this game already. And I wonder if that's part of the logic for Heroic, actually. If you think back on the draft, they overall first picked Kunkka and gave away Pango, which has been a very contested pick this tournament, right? Maybe they think that's not a bad matchup at all. So if you want to open the draft with that, we'll gladly take the 1-for-1 trade.
You know, if they win this game, Heroic, Schofield specifically, these deaths will be a badge of honor for him. It's like, I died this many times and we won.
I was going to say he might try to beat it game 2. He'll probably fail. It's a tough one to beat. But it's getting less and less ridiculous by the minute now.
It is.
Because he's actually... The 8 deaths at 12 minutes is way higher than the 15 at 37, obviously. So, at this point, it's not as impressive anymore. I gotta say, I'm honestly a little bit disappointed.
Whisper picks up his Ag, so he's going to be a lot tankier now.
Yeah, Tomato got the Bloodthorn as well as the Crystallis, so a ton of damage is now available. It's a matter of whether you can deliver, right? I don't think OG are missing tools in their kit to be able to take fights. It's a matter of, I think you can't go on the Primal.
Oh, BGM, he's already used his Swash. He gets silenced by Schofield. Pulverize. He canceled that himself as the swap comes out.
X mark actually canceled it with a miscommunication that if he lives
going to have to use his shard to get away.
Oh my God,
Seb actually just TP's out in front. The rock throw. Oh, the X.
Oh, it's too early. That's honestly just a flat out really big blunder there.
Blunder.
Complete blunder. If you just save Pulverize there for X mark to pull him back, he's dead. But yeah, these two spells don't interact very well. You have to wait for each other with casting the other spell. And Heroic in that moment got a little bit too excited. That would have been a big one too. Getting the Pango another time would have opened up the map quite significantly for them to push through the waves. But now OG might get a chance to stick around. He will smoke.
Huh. Havoc Hammer for K1. Very interesting.
Yep.
Talk about that in just a bit. Is Whisper. He's going to find the initiation onto K1. Pops the Lotus. Won't help him survive.
Nice
the
duel
is
from
gonna
Ari.
cancel the onslaught. And now Analog rethinking his choices. K1 focusing on Whisper, but that is a really tanky target to go on now that he has the Ags. All those puddles of water everywhere.
Wonder if Analog should have popped the BKB there on the charge in, if that was going to be a good fight for them or not, but they'll cut their gyro loss and get the hell out of there.
All right, talk to me about the Havoc Hammer for Weaver.
It's kind of interesting. We didn't get to see what his item pool was, right? I think he would have taken, what's it called? The Silence Sword. Why can't I remember this right now? There you go. Mindbreaker. Yeah, I'm a support player. I don't take that item ever.
I love that item.
I think you take that on Weaver, so I guess that wasn't in his pool. And then when that isn't there, this is like a good hybrid for him. He needs the health, it gives some damage, and obviously... I mean, the vacuum effect of this is kind of interesting. I don't know if there's a specific mechanic here it's useful against. Like, can you pull techies out of Blast Off? That's probably not what he's going for, you know? But
no, I don't.
That would be funny if that happens in this game. Yeah, I think it's just an all-round decent stats item for him in this game. That's got to be the reason, right? He finds his 25. Speaking of the Weaver, it's one of the, in my opinion, best 25 carry talents in the whole game. One extra hit on Geminate attack is enormous.
By the way, Ari, he's been building it for quite a while. The Aghanim Scepter for techies, not something we see all too often either. So you get the Minefield sign, and it's just a lot of bombs, basically. Yep. But it's a stationary area, so you have to be fighting.
I mean, should in theory be decent against Primal, right? With how he plays fights.
Yep, and with the Torrent Storm
nice
as
swap.
well. With Kunkka is, swap from Seb.
Oh my
It's going to
God,
cost him his
Weaver
life
damage.
because K1 does a shit ton of damage. BZM with a really nice roll, but he's going to get pulverized in mid-animation. Tomato pops his BKB with his double as the Torrent Storm comes out. Looks like that's the Aghanim Scepter on the Primal as well as Whisper. Most of the high ground. 3 dead already for OG. And now they have to try to defend this with just 2 cores alive.
They can't output enough. That really is the bottleneck here for the side of OG. It's damage. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? You've got a 6-slotted basically, or at least 5-slotted Arc Warden, and damage is your problem. But these heroes are just so stupidly tanky that it doesn't matter that he hits that hard. Kunkka's going to throw the Rum buff on a 5,000 health Primal Beast. He's not going to die. Weaver has 3.5k HP. You've got all of these dispels and defensive measures from both supports. It's a case of who the hell do you go on, right? I don't actually think there's a single good target for OG to start on. So
Supports.
yeah, but
yes.
even they are difficult to kill, right? You just get an Inkswell, Grimstroke has a Ghost Scepter and Glimmer, and the Gyro has a Ghost Scepter Force Staff. So they all have like defensive measures to get away from them. Maybe you needed a Nullifier on the Slaughter instead of this Ags. I feel like perhaps that's the mistake. He's actually changing to a Nullifier as I say that. He was eyeing up AC, but realizing, okay, we need to be able to deal with these pesky supports, and that will be the way to do it. Spoke of Tomato, he got 25 as well a bit earlier. Took the Tempest double. Duration talent, I don't know how good the other one is.
What is the other one?
No damage penalty distance for the double. I guess if it's like a split push game, perhaps.
Radiant are scanning.
Because after 2,000 range, the Arc Warden clone deals half damage when it's over 2k range away.
You know, the 25 talent could just be fusion. You get both the double and you get the Radiant and Dire effects.
Oh, I thought it was like Mega Meepo where you just merge with your clone and your 2 arcs.
Oh, you could do that too. That's kind of cool. Why not? Just food for thought for Valve, of course. Free content.
And it's called Archon Warden at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, here we go again. Smoke from OG and smoke from Heroic, preparing for the inevitable Roshan, he can spawn in 40 seconds as the early timing.
No,
but
he will spawn in 40 seconds.
Oh, sorry. Pardon me. He can spawn already. That's why they're controlling the area.
Yeah, ward battles. Whisper.
Satanic on K1.
Does get popped. Gleipnir actually pretty nicely placed from Tomato. He pops the BKB on his clone.
It's dead instant.
That will easily get cleaned up, though, as these illusions are a real problem right now.
Yeah, I like this back call from OG. I think you have to get the hell out of here at this point, but let's see if they can even manage to. Looks like
K1
it is a yes.
Kind of faking it out.
But now Roche will spawn. Oh, K1 just... KJ, rather, just went out of the pit, but now he's going to see it. And this belongs to Heroic. I don't think OG can access this right now.
Yep.
It's too
so
difficult.
this will be Refresher Shard. Forgot to mention the banner dropped on the second Roche. As usual, nobody knows if it was used or if it had any impact on the game, as is the item in a nutshell.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And what kind of Refresher shenanigans do we have? Double Torrent Storm would be pretty disgusting. Yeah, double Primal Ult as well. Double Rock Throw, really, is what we're hoping for.
Imagine if you could trample on top of your trample, and it was like a double.
Double trample, yeah.
That would be crazy damage.
That would be sick.
Crazy damage. So 25 on the Primal Beast.
Whisper is found out by Schofield.
I think he's going to be okay
Some back
here.
up, will he?
He can, just he can blink TP out,
That means
but
he's dead. You just said that he's dead. Oh, he blinks right into them. Just needs to get the X distance, but BKB is forced. Rock throw, just for effect. X, do they have the vision? They do.
you were right.
And as Cinderin professes, this hero shall not die until he does. 85 seconds of no Slardar.
What a funny situation to watch from spectator point of view, right? He could have just killed the Ogre Camp, blink TP'd out, but he killed 2/3 of it, started dancing around, went back to do the last hit, then got caught.
Yeah.
So he was like, in the back of his mind, he was like, I'm not safe. Okay, but I'm going to poke this creep one more time. And then he wasn't in time to blink away. Or actually, he was, but he blinked into everyone else.
So Roshan's banner was placed in the mid lane. I feel like this is too early. And have you ever... I don't know why I'm even asking this question. I know you haven't.
I think this is a good time to place it, actually.
You think so?
Yeah, you get the siege creeps. They are super tanky with the banner. You want to place it so that you get a good siege wave when you're trying to push, I think.
It's funny. I didn't even realize that it upgraded them because getting barracks doesn't upgrade them.
Yep.
That is interesting. That's cool.
Okay,
K1.
Oh, whoa, okay.
Have a free Aegis. Consumed for free. K1 will pop the BKB now, and that is...
That's probably the end of this push, actually.
Yeah. That is very strange behavior.
I think if you're going to go and push this tower, you need to precast Inkswell. When you're going to run into these heroes, you just need to precast Ink, let him hit a couple seconds, then back off and repeat.
I mean,
but
this is where Arc Warden shines, though, is the high ground defense, the bubble on the back of the tower.
yeah, it's
Like, you have to put yourself really up close and personal to be able to kill these towers, or just dive.
I mean, theoretically, Heroic have an amazing lineup for dealing with that, right? They have X marks, so they can X mark siege and always get out of trouble. They have the Grim Dispel. You only need to really worry about the Techies Yules, I guess, as a potential X mark counter. But even then, if that goes off, then when you land from Yule, worst case scenario, you BKB on the Weaver and you live. So, I think... Oh, that's a dead
Seb
Seb.
is found, and he is destroyed.
He dropped the gem. He's paying it to his teammates.
Yeah, we're going to have it to fight, looks like.
That's a good
Schofield able to get the
soul
soul
bind.
bind onto two. One of them is the double,
no.
it looks like.
Wait, how did it break?
That's Whisper, probably because it's applied to a double. I don't know, some bug. BZM,
Did it
game's in
expire?
beta. Rolling Thunder coming out from BZM, trying to finish off Schofield, but he's too tanky now. But the Slardar not tanky at all, it feels like. He gets taken out swiftly. And they'll be able to get out the double as well. Ari TP's out. I don't think he even used Minefield Sign, so we haven't. I don't know if we've seen him
True.
use the Ags once this game.
I mean, this might honestly be game. I think they can get at least... They've taken all the tier 2s, so... Nice attempt there from Divide to get the pullback with Tidal Wave. Not quite going to make it. But yeah, you've got Tempest double again now, so you can stall a little bit, but Slardar, a full minute is forever.
Yeah. Well, mid lane is
Oh, that's a good
eventually
torrent.
taken out.
Could have thought about it,
And now
actually.
K1 and company transition to the bot lane. The tower's already at half HP. Killing the creeps first and actually maybe just backing despite Slardar still being in for 40 seconds.
This is I think they are anticipating a buyback here. They could have absolutely got a second lane, I would say, but playing it safe, they don't know for a fact that there's no buyback on the Slardar. You can get caught in some awkward limbo with a swap, and at the end of the day, I don't really mind this because you're in a dominant position. You've shown in the last 4 team fights that you're stronger, so as long as you don't get an unfavorable one, you're expecting the same outcome again and again. So they can just wait it out. The Vailama with the Bloodstone and approaching level 25 is going to have insane staying power as well. Really is the name of the game for this Dire lineup when you think about it. The entire lineup is built around being unkillable. It's what everybody in their lineup is trying to achieve. Every item the supports have bought, every item the cores have bought are extremely strong for just standing your ground. And curious to see if that's just a one-off here for Heroic or if that's like a playstyle they're going to aim for the rest of the tournament, depending on... I think this game is obviously massively important to them. If they win this and one more, I think a guaranteed tie, maybe?
Well, let me look at the stats.
Because this group it's very close, right? Around the middle.
It is close. So right now, Heroic is second to last, but it's 5-7. Azure Ray also tied with them at 5-7. Then you have VP, OG, and Game, and all 6-6. So things can change a lot. Like after this game, if Heroic goes on to win, they'll be 6-7, and so will OG. So even more tiebreaker potential.
And that would mean that if whoever loses that is out, right? I don't think there can be a tie with less than 7 wins.
I'm not going to do the math here. So I'm from North America. We don't do math there.
Okay.
We let the calculator do it. ChatGPT, do my math. That's how our classrooms are.
Isn't that the one thing ChatGPT really can't do?
No, it can't do fingers. That's for sure.
Oh. What about finger math then? How many fingers am I holding up? Try to ask it that.
That actually works. You upload the picture, it tells you pretty detailed information. It's pretty impressive. Shout out to ChatGPT.
And Pyrian Flax.
Yeah, of course. He's a product of ChatGPT, I'm sure, in some dimension. 21K lead for 21K lead here for Heroic.
Yep.
And the question is, will they wait for the next Rosh? Because they can. Feels like they really wasted the Aegis and kind of the banner.
Yeah, they can absolutely wait.
Do you think the banner's stacked, by the way? If you put 2. That'd be pretty sick.
That's a good question. Probably not.
What if can you combine it with a cheese? Like a block of cheese and a banner combined into a block of banner.
I'm just imagining like
or a banner of cheese.
120-minute game where you've just stockpiled banners.
Yeah.
You just place like 10 of them mid.
Yeah, you remember the strats where you would block the creep wave for like 10 minutes and then just release them?
Yeah.
Those were sick strats.
Oh my goodness.
Can't do that anymore, unfortunately. As Heroic and company want to try to connect here onto the high ground. The Whisper's there to defend, though, in his puddle of vomit.
Isn't it really telling about Grovebow that Tomato's still using it?
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Lacoste, maybe? Talking about how he's shocked that that's never been nerfed. If anything, it was buffed not that long ago. Yeah, it's a crazy item.
I think this is the type of item that it's more likely they remove than nerf. It's a matter of whether you think the concept of getting free attack range is fair or not on a neutral item, right? It's considering other items they removed it.
Whisper.
Thinking about it, it's actually kind of surprising.
Finds
It's still there.
Schofield, Nullifier applied,
Nullifier.
he's dead. And BZM coming in with the Rolling Thunder. Analog already popping the BKB. Not able to find anyone to pulverize those. K1 in very deep, focusing right now onto Ari, but he gets the Yules off, and now onto Tomato, who pops the BKB, gets pulverized, destroyed. And now the double is left for them to clean up. And the rest of OG now on the run. Ari with the blast off. He didn't make it to the low ground. And they're able to cancel the TP. There are 2 buybacks for OG on these members that are dead.
They're going to have to suspend them too.
Yeah,
K1 is so strong. Like, this Weaver is absolutely trashing them.
Yeah, but likely the last fortification of the game is double buyback comes out from OG. Does Heroic want to continue on, or will they play disciplined? So far, biding their time. Roche will be up in less than a minute. So they might just wait for that.
I mean, it's absolutely the best play to wait for Roche. There's no doubt about it. Just, you want to think about this from a win rate perspective.
Oh, wow.
It's almost the only way that the Dire lose this game is by going high ground without Aegis and messing up. If they just play control here for the Roche, if they find any of the heroes that use buyback, especially Tomato, if they go and contest this Roche attempt and Tomato dies, the game's over. So you gotta be feeling really good as Heroic now. Just control the map.
K1 consumes an Ags.
Yep.
Instead of waiting for Roche. So now
he has
time lapse
infinite
can
gold,
be used
so
on teammates. Yeah, it's and lower cooldown, of course.
Honestly,
the only negative with this Ags is you have to double-click your ult now.
Does it
for
lower
yourself.
the cooldown?
Does it not do that anymore?
I think it used to do that.
Oh yeah, you're right. So,
but I was like, if it still did that, that was the reason he got it. I don't think he's getting it for his teammates, but I mean, at this point, if you have nothing else to gain, he could have bought a Moon Shard, so I guess he thinks it's more valuable to potentially protect a support, I'm guessing. So the cores aren't really dying before him.
Roshan belches with glee as another banner will be uselessly placed on the map.
Okay.
Another refresher shard.
What do you think? If the banner did nothing on creeps but did something on heroes, what would be fair?
What do you mean something on heroes? Like a global debuff?
It wouldn't have to be global. Let's say it was like local. Let's say you could place it like a Wraith Pact, right?
Wow, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's bring Wraith Pact back.
That is not at all what I said. You truly are American. Listen, so if you... What do you think would be a fair banner effect if you, let's say it had 1200 radius, like any aura in Dota.
Okay.
And you could place this banner and it couldn't move. Yeah. What do you think would be fair that it did for your heroes?
Increased gold, so you just stand there gaining gold.
All right, I don't know why I was expecting a serious answer, actually. That's on me. Sorry, guys.
Watch them do that, and you're like, oh, that's a great idea!
Wouldn't that be something?
How many times has that happened in Dota's history? My stupid ideas are genius. I think anything's better than the current iteration, though. Although a banner mid now actually does do
These creeps
a
are quite
decent
strong,
amount,
yeah.
if they were to place it, which we don't know if they have, of course.
K1 gonna take range Rex for free. OG are late to the party. You blink and you miss it. Weaver is a base sieging monster at this point with the triple attacks. 400 damage per hit.
Yeah, let's see how long I mean, he's already held on to the Aegis longer than last time. At least that's how it feels.
Holy shit, I just realized 50k net worth.
Yeah.
What in the world?
To a certain point, you can't even use the net worth anymore.
Okay.
As he's going to be spotted. He's actually getting really low. Pops the BKB, and then that's
really
the
nice
Aegis
execution
again.
from OG there.
So OG, they seem to be Aegis masters, denying that. BZM, Rolling Thunder, not going to make it up the cliff. A little too girthy these days.
They played around the dispels very well there to find that kill on the Weaver. That was not an easy execution to do, but immediately layered their spells well. Tomato will lose his clone, but I mean, if you wanted to, you could brute force it here with this siege wave, since there's 15 seconds cooldown on the arc clone, but maybe opting to play it safe here again.
Yeah,
2 refresher shards on Heroic, but no Aegis.
Yeah.
They have 1 ready and available in the Divine Llama inventory, and Analog has 1 in the backpack, which I kind of feel like he should be swapping in for his Blade Mail, probably. I think there's just way more value in that at this point, but perhaps...
Oh, the bash K1. He's dead! Swap now onto Schofield. He is also dead.
This is getting a bit sloppy now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you're 30k up, you own the entire map, and then you split?
Analog?
Okay.
Does he actually want to fight? He was X'd initially to try to be aggressive. Now Divine Llama and company are going to back away. Yeah, very sloppy indeed. And this is opening the door a bit for OG. I mean, giving up the Roche is obviously not great, but if they're just not going to use the Aegis in any real capacity each time, definitely opens the window a bit.
Can I just say I'm really proud of you, Shannon?
What's that?
We're 2 minutes away from tier 5 neutrals and you haven't mentioned
I
them.
literally didn't even notice.
That is actually amazing.
Tier 5 items in 2.5 minutes. Whisper.
Dire's middle tower.
They want to force out a buyback. Schofield doesn't have his, so if they do force a fight, it's going to be 4v5. But they won't, because they're waiting for tier 5 items.
No, I was
The banner is top. Why?
that was the lane they were pushing, so I think they were trying to make the creep
come
stronger.
on, man. There's no way that's correct. I'm going to call BS on this. They need a banner coach for these teams. Nobody knows how to use this freaking thing.
Could you imagine if OG come back to win this game after Valve gave them 0% chance to win minute 0? That would be incredible. Like, the win expectancy graph for this game would be wild.
All right, so OG didn't want to push the envelope. Obviously, they don't know if how the buyback situation goes here, but
They can't high ground. It's completely fine to not try to do anything here. Just push out the waves and get some farm and keep exploiting mistakes.
and the later the game goes, the less this 20k lead means.
Scanning.
And it's only one full lane of racks. It's just the range racks in the top lane, which is whatever.
K1 is going to make a massive breaking point here. He's going to make level 30, so he'll get minus 2.5 second cooldown on Shikuchi, which is a huge talent.
Yeah, how close is he?
He's like
really close.
very close, but he's sharing experience with 4 heroes in the smoke, so he actually doesn't get it from these neutrals, and the fight will break out. So he's going to have to skill at mid-fight if he gets a kill. He's going to run into some
pop the
mines.
smoke. Yeah. Mines galore from Ari. They don't want to focus on the Primal Beast as BZM coming with the ult, but he's stuck in the wall. Continues to try to use the shield crash to get out. They're able to take out Schofield. Seb will be the trade. A nice pulverize on the BZM with the Soulbind there as well. Huge boat coming in as well as BZM does die without a buyback now. The right clicks. Okay, K1 evaporates to the right click of Tomato's double. Meanwhile, finally Refresher Shard comes out from Analog. Blast off from Ari to keep things at bay. And the Wind Waker will keep Whisper alive for now. Ari's not going to be so lucky though, as the Uproar Ags will finish him off. So 3 dead for OG without buyback. Heroic don't know this.
Radiant's top barracks
And if they did, they would buy back and just push Throne now.
Yeah, you would think so.
But it is 60 minutes. It's time to get the tier 5 items. Which ones are good this game? I want to see... I had this discussion yesterday with someone. It was Kezu or Lacoste. I get them mixed up all the time.
They're basically the same person. It's two clowns, right?
The Magic Resist one that no one has ever purchased in the history of Dota, or not purchased, but picked up.
That is so bad, this game.
I want
Oh my god, it's terrible in this game.
We need to see it on Primal Beast. Just lose 4k health for Magic Resist.
What is this called? Is it unwavering condition? I haven't seen
Yeah.
it yet in a game.
Ooh, Force Boost.
I conceptually very much dislike it, but that's not surprising to anyone.
Yeah, you conceptually hate everything.
Yeah, it's part of getting older.
That's true. Get off my lawn type energy. Seer Stone for
It's a good one.
For Ari. Nice cast range.
And especially, I feel like it's still an underrated aspect of this, just the reveal, right? That's
What kind of reveal is it again? Is it just like a gem?
it. Just gives 800 flying vision, right?
Oh, it's flying vision.
So
But it
It's
says
crazy.
reveal, so does that include invis units?
I don't think it gives true sight. I think it just gives vision, right?
I don't know.
That's a good question. I think it just gives vision.
Oh, I was going to say Force Boots would be the perfect item for Analog, and he will snag that one.
Yep, feels good. 115 move speed item.
And you can get rid of your boots now.
Yep.
See
What do you get in that
double.
slot? Probably just Refresher Orb, right?
Yeah.
That's gotta be. He used the Shard in the previous fight, but I think he messed up his button presses a little bit, or they would have also killed the Slardar.
Speaking of Slardar, Giant Ring for Whisper. He's a big juicy boy
That's a
now.
Big fish in a small pond.
BZM does not have a tier 5. He's the last remaining member. Seb hasn't chosen his yet. Maybe he's holding on to for BZM. Trying to think of what's even good for Pango. I mean, honestly, the Force Boots would be pretty good for him as well. As Pirate Hat comes out for Seb for the Bounty Rune situation.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
wait, with the
later.
Force Boots Analog has another Dispel.
Mirror Shield for K1.
Let's count Dispels, are you ready? Or let's count outs, if you will. He's
Okay.
got Uproar, Wind Waker, Force Boots, Grim Shard, and BKB.
Not bad.
That's quite good. That's 5 options to get out of trouble. Obviously, you can't use a couple of those if you're stunned, but realistically, are you ever going to die through 5.1k health with this team behind you? Unlikely.
I don't know. Maybe. OG can pack a punch.
Maybe some sort of swap play. I don't know.
Will Roche ever spawn on the Dire side?
If Art gets a Rapier, maybe, but I don't think he will. He's eyeing up a Hex. I don't know if the Hex is actually going to be a game decider. I think you should go Rapier here. Just, again, considering the raw amount of dispels in the enemy team, I don't know if these Hexes are really going to cut it, but we'll see.
Roche about
Whisper.
to spawn. K1 is spotted, or is it Whisper? He's going to get Gleipnir. There's the Wind Waker. But the X is applied to him. He's going to pop the BKB after being brought back as BZM in his Rolling Thunder, all alone right now, focusing on the supports. Will roll up for the time being, continue with the shield crash. His team still hasn't connected. Finally, Whisper gets a nice crush onto 2. Nullifier onto Schofield. He is dead first. Good pulverize, but another Wind Waker to keep the damage at bay as Ari's taken out. The double kill for K1, just ripping through everyone. So 2 supports dead for OG, and only 1 for Heroic. And finally, Whisper, he's actually so hard to kill,
He
but...
still has Wind Waker.
He does.
Can he blink here?
They have
No.
tons of stuns. He's just being rolled all over the place, basically doing his Pango impression. And finally, he is dead, but still, the buybacks remain for 2 of the 3 members of OG.
Analog, after this fight, will now pick up level 30. So he now has the cannot be slowed or rooted during trample, which is very good against Arc Warden. And the buybacks will come out. And I think this is a back call for Heroic again. Wait for Roche, and then go die in a side lane with it, and then wait again.
Yeah, can we get an 8th Roche? I think that's the goal here.
My God.
Maybe they wait for it. Yeah, another banner, of course.
I feel like the type of fights that OG need to take is like some serious mental gymnastics, how you even wrap your head around getting a favorable exchange. Like, it's so difficult for them at this point. Went for the Arcanist armor on Gyro. You've got the Mirror Shield on Weaver, so that's another defensive layer. We've talked about it a lot on these cores, how hard they are to deal with.
Dig.
All of them got another one.
Dig.
Dig.
Dig. Those bounty runes are huge at this stage.
Yeah,
Dig it.
pirate, Seb.
Dig it, Seb.
Sebastian's just really not a pirate's name, is it?
No,
What's
not at all.
a pirate's name?
Frank.
Andrew.
Sure. He's digging. All right, you got it.
Nice.
All right, the
Here
greatest
goes Roche.
efficiency. Okay, they wait for Roche to be the other side.
Who needs Ag still? Put it on Gyro, which is garbage.
Schofield or Gyro. I mean, Schofield, I guess the illusion of Arc Warden, it's not that...
It's better than the Gyro, sure.
It is.
Side Gunner is absolute nonsense in this game. Yeah, they'll TP him up here and give it to him, I think. Yeah. Okay. So, Dark Portrait. Dark Portraiting Arc Warden is quite strong, gotta say. It's got decent stats.
Yep, not bad. Can you use it on the double? Do you know?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's hope for OG that it crashes the game. That's
Whisper is defending, creating his puddles perpetually. BZM in
45
Rolling Thunder
armor,
mode.
4,250 health while standing in the water.
Yes, and he still dies somehow.
Yeah, he does eventually, but it takes a while to get there. Have we seen the minefield sign yet?
I may have seen it in the bot lane one time.
It doesn't feel like that purchase has been remotely impactful compared to the alternatives for Ari.
Pretty bad, yeah.
Because you would think that...
But you would think it is good for high ground defense, for sure.
Yeah, I understand why they bought it, but they just haven't really found the windows to use it, which makes it easy to regret it, right? He could have had a Hex, he could have had a full Wind Waker. But...
Oh, maybe. If they win one fight because of that, then it's worth it.
Yep, for sure. It's a big if, though. They haven't won a fight in 40 minutes.
Dire's bottom tower.
It hasn't been that long, surely.
Actually, untrue. They did kill K1. They won a 5v2 bottom. They killed K1 and Schofield.
Well, they killed the they killed the K1 with Aegis twice.
Does it count as a fight if it's one hero getting jumped?
Yes.
You count that as a fight? Okay, I usually count that as a gank. But
it's
and
not a
those two
gank
are
because he's in their base. You don't gank somebody in your own base.
well, if they're alone.
He's getting a blink dagger now. Okay, what? How can
go
he even
Swift
improve
blink.
this line or this itemization?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So he has the moon shard. I mean, what does he replace for Swift blink?
I don't know. He did get. Oh,
They're split again.
yeah. Focus right now on Divide. Nullifier was applied right there. Double doing a lot of damage as Whisper pops the BKB. Divide Lamba. Is he going to get out? The right clicks are coming. Tomato uses the force steps to try to finish him off, but the Kunkka finally does fall as Analog trying to do as much as he can to BZM, but doesn't have his Pulverize to work with now as K1. A lot of right-click damage. There's the Techie's Minefield sign, by the way. Doing a little bit of damage, I guess. Wind Waker on Analog, keeping himself safe. K1's on the high ground, and Analog now joining the party. Only one hero has died here somehow, and it is the Techies, because he had the audacity to use his Minefield sign.
This was another case of OG take advantage of a
Kunkka died,
split,
right? True.
So K1 was bought, right, on the Weaver, and that's when OG went for the aggressive maneuver. So Weaver had some time to connect up there while they killed off the Kunkka. And well, I mean, they keep holding on by finding these good moments of opportunity where Heroic aren't tight.
Well, K1 did hold on to his Aegis this time.
Yep, true.
1 out of 3.
It's gonna put the Swift Blink in the BKB slot, and then when he dies, gonna swap out maybe both the Linkets and the BKB, I guess?
Yeah, they're gonna have to go for some X marks shenanigans. Just this is such a ridiculous high ground defense for OG. You have to walk through sludge, you have to walk through minefields.
There's something about Slardar with terrain walking that's just weird.
He's swimming.
Swimming through walls.
That's right. Oh, the Hex.
No
But
way.
Inkswell is there. K1 gets off the Swarm. Looks like he wants to fight a bit. So has a minute left on the Aegis. And Whisper has so much HP, same with Analog, that you can barely even see the ticks in the HP bar.
I feel like they could keep going for these X-Mark Blinken pushes. They only did it that one time, but just keep doing it as long as the back door is
down.
down.
Did they use Banner? I feel like the Banner mid would help this push out quite a bit.
This Roche didn't drop one, right?
Oh yeah, they killed it in the top. Yeah, they got the cheese this time. That's true.
Right.
Boy, I could really use that Banner right now, tell you what.
But it's like, what's the problem with just X-marking Weaver, blinking in and hitting for 2 seconds and then pulling him out? If you're worried about the Yules, you know the timing on your X-mark. So you have plenty of time. It's 8 seconds. So
Yeah, but how many Yules do they have? They got 2.
It doesn't matter. They can't use them back to back, right? You can always get something off in between.
Okay, is this actually a fight breaking out? Seb's in a lot of trouble. Lots of Yules being applied. Seb is still alive. BZM coming with the Rolling Thunder, not really connecting anybody because of the BKBs. Seb is dead for 2 full minutes. The Torrent Storm coming out. A lot of heroes in the air. And now the base opening up just a bit as OG has to retreat temporarily. This is now a 4 versus 5. Fortification will slow it down. Whisper jumping in, does not want to focus on the Primal Beast, that's for sure. K1 popping his BKB, no longer with the Aegis, and hey, they did about 100 damage to the melee racks. That's something. But
I feel
still,
like
Step dead for a minute and a half.
This push is not over. He has X-mark refill. They're going to go this way.
Whisper, pulverized, nullifier applied. Does he have any teammates to help out? No, the Slardar is dead. Despite having 1 million HP, effectively, they do 1 million damage. And now, surely this game is going to end in a 5 versus 3 unless Heroic makes a giant mistake. Finally, they get this second lane of racks, which seemingly has taken 30 minutes.
Primal Beast and hashtag NPC Dota good guys Tower 4 bot. Just high five.
Very exciting.
Thanks, Valve.
And the Mega Creeps will come, and OG just trying to throw everything they have from afar. Decent amount of damage on the Analog, but now with the Mega Creeps, Rolling Thunder from BZM again, but they just lack the damage.
Oh, that's a good Soulbind.
Yeah,
that's
Soulbind with the Pulverize. The double is dead, and it looks like BZM is next. Only 2 members of OG remaining. The Minefield sign used for the 2nd time this game, and Heroic literally couldn't give a shit. They're standing in there. 20 deaths for Schofield, and he wins. Game number 1 for Heroic.
Wait. It can still be 21.
That's true. There we Still 20. Schofield, will you die one more time for content? Wait. Oh, he pops the Ghost Scepter just in time. Doesn't want the 21st. And the blast off will end the game as GG's finally come out. Heroic take game number 1
Right.
and